2 seconds. Okay, and now we're going to work on the unicorn arms. This is our first foray into the S runner and also the E runner, the white runner. So you can see, of course, by looking at it, you recognize these arm parts. So we're going to be working with these here, and the build starts off with us doing, ×2. So first step is to kind of start building what looks to be the shoulder joint. So I have this piece here, and I'm going to insert a poly cap into it. And I got to make sure I get it lined up properly because the edges have to be the right way for it to kind of squeeze in. And then this POM part is supposed to push it the rest of the way in. Snap. There you go. Not bad. From there, I'm going to grab some more S parts. That's pretty much all the frame I'm going to be using, which is good because I don't want to have to flip between runners so often. I'm getting near the end of the build and I only have a few runners to use, and it's much quicker having not having to sort through them. So let's get the pieces here, and I need a POM 8 on this side, POM 8, and I need the PC 16 on this side. Let me grab that one. And as we've done many times before, we're just kind of dropping these in, with one side being that hard plastic and the other side being the poly cap. Now when we put this piece in here, we can close this up and we've got that shoulder connection right there. And it's somewhat stiff, not as stiff as some of the ankle joints were, but this one is stiff enough you'll be able to hold your unicorn arm in a pose. So I need S2 and S1, grabbing these ones. S2, S1, S16. Where are you, buddy? This somewhat relatively small piece. Be careful when you cut F16 off. S16 has these little pegs on the side which you should not remove. Okay, so, and then POM 9 and a PC part. PC 18. Okay, so this is going to go in here. Like this. POM 9. Cut off the wrong piece maybe? POM 9 is what I need. Sorry guys, I must have cut out the wrong piece. Probably holding that runner upside down. There you go. So with this, I'm going to drop this in. There's this groove here, of course. This is going to drop in here. And we'll be sliding around somewhat once I close this up. Hopefully. I find with pieces this size, they're quite small. Getting them to stay where I need them to stay can be quite difficult. Like this is supposed to, according to the manual, kind of just sit in there like so. But it won't sit in there while I'm holding this other piece. So sometimes when this happens, I kind of start it. I will lay these on top of each other and not push them closed yet until I get this in here. Then I can kind of close them up. So I think it's meant to be like this. So this is now in here. It can move, right? Make sure you push these together solidly because this is going to come out really easily if you don't. Now S7. This big one. I haven't seen any indication there's undergates on the arm frame S runner parts, but I'll have to keep an eye on that. And S4 and S3 while I have this in my hand. S4. Okay, taking this piece I cut out just a second ago, the bigger one, I'm meant to put quite a few parts in it, so let's get PC-17 first. This one goes in from this side here. Slide that all the way in, okay. POM 6. Oops. POM 6 and PC 3. And there's not many parts left on these PC POM runners. But I guess I just got the head and backpack left after this. Okay, so with this, I now have to take these things I've just assembled. Mount them on. You can see how it lays in there like this. And we'll close it up. Squeeze it together. Now we'll just test it out here. This is my bend here. Like this. Not bad, not bad. Okay, that's the first part of the frame done. Now I'm going to pull out back to the J runner. We've used this one before, but most of the parts on here are for the arms. So J13. J1 and J2. And a PC9. I guess this PC9, I've noticed it for some time when I was using that runner. You can see it's quite large in the opening there. This could have something to do with the hands, but of course we don't know anything about that yet. It's all speculation until you actually start putting this stuff together, which I'm going to do right now. So drop that in there. And this piece has to go in like so, and it will slide forward and back along this guide here. So let's close that up. Now polycaps, of course, if you don't have these plastic parts lined up when you start to close them, you can wreck kind of the edge. They'll kind of bend, round off a little bit. This one is fine because I have the angle the right way, but just keep that in mind and don't push too hard. If you find it's not working, it could be maybe the polycap is not in there all the way and it's kind of slanted. That can be a problem, so just keep that in mind when you're doing that. J10 and J9. Oh, I'm just using frame parts, cycle frame parts here. Okay, so I got these. This one is, this part I imagine is supposed to sit up in here. Let's make sure I got this correctly. Actually goes onto this peg here, like this. Okay, and I'll close it up. Where am I meeting resistance here? Right there. It's not closing as I would like. There we go. That's better. That unit here. Okay, now I need E parts here. I'm going to use some E parts, and I thought, oh, this is white, so I'm going to have undergates, but the manual does not indicate undergates on these parts, at least. E16. Here you are. does kind of have it though, because it's angled. Depending on how you cut it, you could have something that resembles an undergate. But because I want to make this beautiful, I'm going to get in there and clean this up. Here too. This one, you won't see this gate, but it could get in the way when parts are supposed to fit together, so I did that one as well. So this goes on from the bottom. One, and then I can slide this on here. Number two, and of course that is looking like the wrist. I'm thinking that's where my hand goes. Give me a sec, I'll flip the page here. So now I need B1 and E9. Now B1, for those who don't know, are the beam saber handles. But they're not all on the same runner, interestingly enough. So here's my B1 beam saber handle, and E9 is just the cap at the end. So why they put these on two different runners is kind of a, how do you say, a mystery to me. Now these are going to be the beam saber handles that kind of hide in the arm. Make sure I got the flash on. And what I need are frame parts to kind of hold on there. So I need S1, S21, sorry, S21. And then 19 and 20, and there are undergates here, the manual indicates, so I will find them. And while I'm here, I'll grab this thing too. We all know what this is. I guess anybody who's watched the unicorn anime, they have a unicorn being very distinct looking, and all its variations. It's still all the same kind of idea. So anybody who's familiar to some extent with the unicorn, whether they built the model or not previously, they'll know what they are seeing when they see these runners. They'll know what you're looking at. Except for some frame parts deep in the legs and those areas. That's kind of all new. Okay, so first thing, I guess I can put these two together. Okay, and I can attach the beam saber handle. It is meant to go on like this. It's pretty solid. It's not going to fall off, right? It's just going to stay there. Now, with these, I have to put the peg in there. Simple enough, right? And then close it up. There you go. That will click in. Taking that now, I have to get armor parts, E14 and 15. Like that. And there are undergates here, of course, so here we go. Okay. Let's get these little edges down here so I don't have anything in the way when I start putting these together. Okay, and it's easy enough. I push this in, and then I'm going to put the parts on. Let's make sure I've got it facing the right way. Right? So this part goes on here. This part as well. Nice. That's only like one little part of his arm. These things are going to be huge. So, getting my J runner here. J8, J5, J5, J8, J5, and the E runner. 22 and 23. Move these out of the way, everybody can see. And under gates. This little edge here wasn't an undergate, but it's still showing, so I want to clean that up as well as this one. Hard to see, but I noticed it once and I had to flip around so I could find it. So, taking this piece and this piece. There we go. Doing two steps at a time, so it's possible I confuse myself, but there I have those. Like so. And now back to some frame parts. Okay, so I S23 right here. Weird layout for that gate mark. Gonna need to get in there and fix that. S10. S11. Looks like there's some undergates on these frame parts too. Clean up your edges. People always comment about how, they see gate marks, like when we show kits on Gunpla TV, oh, there's a gate mark, and I get criticized for it somewhat, but I always make the point that I'm trying to build these as quickly as possible to get them on the show. But for a kit like this, Bandai's gone out of their way to put the undergates in for aesthetic purposes, so I should probably do my best, so to speak, to clean those up so that it's not, there's these glaring kind of defects on the kit when you're done. It's like this kind of thing, like I think I said before, it's kind of like art. You want it to be as beautiful as possible when you're finished it. So I'll take this. This will slide in here like so, and then it kind of opens and closes. Like I'm working on the shoulder here. It feels like I haven't even finished the arm yet. Why am I working on the shoulder? Well, that's just the way it is, right? This is meant to be like this. And we'll put the last piece on and close it up. There's my shoulder frame, and we can open it to this extent. It goes this far, right? Click, boom. From there, S13 and S8. S8. Okay, taking these, I am meant to, sorry everybody, don't mean to be dropping these all over the place, plug this up from below. So let me make sure I got no gate marks kind of stopping me here. Okay, like this. And it goes like so. There are pegs here. You can see something is going to attach there, but I'm not there yet. So these groove or pegs, tabs, whatever you want to call them, going to slide into these openings, I guess. And like this. Line them up, push it down. There you go. So these will kind of open upwards. A lot of resistance there. Once everything gets kind of built and is a little more solid, it'll probably be easier to get a hold of and open. But for now, we'll push them down. Now I need J6 and J7. So J6 and J7 are these cycle frame parts. Okay, so with these parts, what I'm meant to do is kind of push it onto here, these tabs here, and it's supposed to make a noise when I do so. So let's get it on there. A little bit of noise, and then you're meant to, push them down, push them up. They say 1, 2. I don't know if that's supposed to like secure them any better or not, but and there I did it. Let's do the other side. Okay, makes sense to me. I think I did that. Good. J15, which is this one. Oh, it's J12, sorry, J15 and 16. Don't want to use the wrong part, although it'd be pretty hard to put a completely different shaped part into that spot. J15 and 16. Now, we saw this last time with the skirts. I'm supposed to flip these over like this and like this, and I am meant to put in one of these foil stickers. So let me find the right one here. I need number 1, which is this one. I was doing some thinking yesterday after I built the skirt. Why would they have me use like these stickers that are red on the side kind of thing? And it occurred to me that like these are very, very transparent. And a lot of the unicorn armor that kind of opens up to expose this destroy mode cycle frame, like you can't really see through it, you just see the red. But on certain areas of this kit, you would be able to see through it. And the idea is that like you don't want to. You don't want to be able to see through it in certain areas. You don't want to see that frame part behind it or anything that is behind it. So it looks like that's what Bandai was going for when they were deciding to use these stickers. It's just to block, I guess, light or something from going through so you see what's behind it. Whether it will ultimately prove successful or not is another story, but Bandai figured it was worth doing that, and that's where you are. Lay this in here. I don't have to be super precise. Of course, I like to be, but I don't need to be. That one moved at the very last minute. That's okay. So with those on there, I can now add these parts to my frame here. So here's my frame. Let's drop these on. It wasn't really a peg or anything to indicate it was supposed to go where it was supposed to go, but the fit is just such a unique shape that it's easy enough just to kind of put in the right spot immediately. And you can kind of see this effect in the shoulders here. Maybe it's difficult to run an LED into the actual shoulder as it is the skirt, and maybe that's why they want to give this effect, because they won't have an LED behind it. That's my guess. Makes sense to me that way. All right, E12 and 13. Parts with undergates. Ooh, that's small. My mat is getting so littered with tiny little pieces of white plastic and other colors, of course, but I actually shook it out a little bit before I started. But because the garbage can's all the way across the room, I actually shook it out into the PG Unicorn box that's sitting right here beside me. So somebody's going to get a little surprise when it comes time to clean up that box. Hopefully it won't be me. E12 and oh, E10 and 11. Let me get these as well. Undergating. What's it like to watch this? Like we do live streams and we show builds. Everybody likes to see the build. What's it like to watch me just cut undergates off? Does it get boring? Of course, you all know what the end product is supposed to look like once I'm done, so you have that in mind as I'm doing it, but I'm just doing the same thing over and over again here. That's nice. Okay, so first things first, I have to put on, it's going to be this part. I think it's going to go, hold on, spin this around the right way, don't make mistakes now. It will go here and here, push it on, okay, and then the next piece will kind of loop around it here, take up this other side. There you go, there's one thing here. What if I just try this out here? I was thinking I could slide it, but then I thought maybe I have to like pull this up to slide it. And because I don't know, because I haven't read the instructions yet, I'm just going to leave that now because I'm not going to risk damaging the one and only unicorn I have in my possession at this time. Alright, there we go, there's my shoulder. Back to the S-Runner. I know what I'm going to be doing next. I'm already not looking forward to it here. So, S17. S17. J4, which is the psycho frame part here. This is one big part. It's not two parts, so don't go cutting in the middle here, right? Just cut off what you need. Okay, with that, and two smaller armor parts. They're 1 and 2, it says, 1 and 2. Oh, here they are, kind of sticking in there. Didn't realize they were standing up like that. No undergates on this one, but you do have one gate. It's kind of at an angle that needs to go. Right here. Okay. Taking this, I now have to slide these on from above onto my psycho frame part. You can see, sorry. You can see how it kind of slides in there, how this part's molded. Make it really easy for you, providing you line it up properly. There you go. And with that, I have to connect it onto here, right? And that's what this piece is for. And if anybody remembers, or if anybody, most people have built an MG Unicorn, I imagine. When you're doing the shoulder part for that, there's an area that kind of This particular area was kind of difficult, the way you had to snap it and kind of hold it in there. We'll see if I can get through this without a problem here. So first I have to snap this onto here. It's supposed to make that noise, but let's see what happens. Snap just a little bit, and it can swing, right? There we go. And fall off if you move it too much. Let's do that one more time. Snap. Okay, I got it in the right spot now. I can actually move it around without falling out, so that's good. And now I'm supposed to snap that onto here, so let's do that. Snap. That was much louder, wasn't it? Okay. Now it says that I am supposed to, once I get that on, flip this entire thing up. Flip this entire thing up. And spin these all around so they can go down. Really? Really, Banda? Really? Spin them back down like so. Want it to close up now. When I turn this, you can see it opens. That is kind of cool. Just turn it a little bit, it opens. So I imagine when we start doing the transformation of this guy, we'll just be kind of moving this piece in here. So let's put that down and make sure I get the next part, which is E6. There's E6, S9, and I'm gonna get the other parts that I'm going to need to finish the shoulder right now, like this. And this big piece is cool. When I saw this runner, I knew immediately which runner it was, right? Because that piece is very identifiable for anybody who knows the unicorn or the models. And 7 and 8. So I got some undergates to take care of on these ones. Okay. Actually, I know I've got stuff to clean up on all this too, so. And in here, one small one. Interesting, they put it kind of under the bottom here where these pegs are, because you'd think that it wouldn't be too noticeable if there was a gate on the outside, but nope, they put it on the inside, and you gotta cut it off here without cutting your finger off, please. This plastic's very thin in that area, so it comes off quite easily. One more. Alright, so with these parts, there might be one in the S part too, I think. Yes, there are. Just one. Okay. That was easy. Okay, got my parts. Got my main, what do you want to call it? Let's see, this is supposed to tuck up here like so after I put this part on, so make sure I do this right. It's going to be tricky. It's all part of the transformation, right? So this goes on there like this. Now it says these are supposed to clip up into here like that. So this part that we put on right at the beginning that spins over. Now you have these parts that go on onto it. So this one will go on here. This one will go on here. Now this is quite different from the Unicorn MG. This doesn't have these parts as far as I remember. Let's drop this on. Sorry everybody. Of course I forget a part. One sec. My bad. Let's get this, I cut it off and I never put it on. Let's get this put on first before I continue with that final part, because that would be really, really embarrassing, right? That goes on, okay. No problem, here we go. Final part for the shoulder. Just drops right on there. Check that out. There is a shoulder. Looks quite solid. I got a gate mark I don't like. Okay. Now I'm gonna continue on with the arm because they stopped me mid-arm to finish the shoulder, so I gotta put that here and grab my arm parts here. But now it differentiates right from left. So give me a second and I will get out the parts I need to build the right arm, and I'll show you that. Okay, I got my stuff ready for the arm. I'm doing the right arm first, and I've got the shoulder finished, so I don't need this. I'm gonna move it off the table here. And I've got my pieces laid out here. Now, what I actually need to do is put all these aside and grab these other parts. So back to the J runner, I'm going to grab J12. And with that, I'm going to grab almost the last of the E parts that are kind of floating around here. I need an E19, which happens to be this one here. I'm sure I got undergate on that. And an E5, which is this one. And of course I will also need E4. So I'll cut all of them out right now. E4, you'll be here in a second. Don't go anywhere. E5. Like that, and I guess might as well grab this E piece as well. So there are undergates, they tell us, so that's tricky undergate placement on that one. Just the one though. This one has one tucked in here on the other side, so you don't have to worry too much about it. Okay. Okay, undergates are cleared up. So taking this part, I'm going to make sure I got it the right way. It looks like it's going this way. Up. Right. This and this will go together first. Up on the inside. It just kind of lays in there. There's like a lip there that'll prevent it from coming straight off. So it's only meant to slide up this way. And with that done, I have to kind of push this in place here. So let me get that lined up properly as well. Just push it in. Click, click. Now, this isn't going anywhere right now. It was meant to slide, but it's not going to slide with that piece in there. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to work. But first I'm going to have to prepare this part the same way. Get it in there. Like so. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Thought for a second I'd reverse these parts, but looking at the manual again, I do have it correct. Like this, right? So these I'm just going to put there for now. I don't need them yet. What I need to do is get back the frame parts I made and that shoulder joint, of course. And I'm going to need one white part. That one white part. And some frame parts that do have undergates at the top of them. So there will be one undergate right in here. Do this one too. Not undergates per se, but because of the angle, it will leave some plastic that you'll need to take care of. Okay, so let's make sure this is facing the right way. Slap this cover on. Starting to cover up the elbow joint that's in the middle there. This will go on to here first. Slide it on. Slide it on the right way. And then I get to drop it onto the poly gap here. So drop it through there. I want to make sure I do get it in all the way. That looks like it. Okay, so yeah, obviously you know what you're looking at. That is an arm. From here, I actually put this aside and I get back this piece I had before. So I've got this. I'm going to need this part. And this is our first crack at the R runner, which just happens to be the hand. So I'm going to need R4. R4 is this side. So you can see there's a lot of things to cut out here. Please allow me a few moments to cut these out. I think we've shown these on the show before. I think we did the we've done the PG Astray red frame. We have done the I think the Ale Strike 30th anniversary clear version. I think we did that somewhat on the show as well. We showed these hands, and of course with the RG kits that came out, and the new type hands on the new type hands with, say, the Shinanji Stein version Ka or the Sasabi version Ka, the new Gundam version Ka. You know, they have this type of thing as well. So this isn't all that new and unique now, but remember, before all those RGs and MGs and whatever else, the only way to kind of have these type of hands was to get a newer perfect grade kit. It's kind of amazing when you think about it, that Bandai's actually been able to kind of scale that down and give it to you in now 1/44th scale. And there's a lot of cutting. Make sure you get them all, because if you don't, your joints will come apart when you try to pull it off the runner. If you can't actually get all the way in on some of these gates, cut away from it and you trim it out after. So, is there anything I'm missing? Yeah, right there. Did I missed that one. Okay. Are we doing anything else? Yeah, one right here. Tricky one. Okay. There's my hand. There you go. So I do have some cleanup to do with the gate marks that I chose to leave. There's a few of them in these tight spots, but I can get in there now and remove them without too much hassle. Of course, these are very stiff, but be careful when you're using them. You start with a hand that's kind of that shape, and you're meant to, you know, put it together. So this will get turned down like that, and I'll take a moment to kind of bend the thumb, get some motion in there, get some practice, so he's not so hard to move. This turns around to the inside. This one, they're all turned to the inside, but the last two here are coming from the opposite direction. All right. So you have that hand like that. Then swing this under. It kind of clicks on, and I'm going to make sure I've got the fingers kind of in, so it looks more like a hand when I close it up. All right. Close that up. That looks more like a hand now. Actually, that looks really awesome now. So I do need a small part from the P runner, which I had over here somewhere. I know exactly which piece I'm looking for too. And I saw it when I was working on the P runner last time. I saw this and knew exactly what it was for, so we'll cut that off. And what we're going to do is we are going to place it on the inside, and it's going to hold this whole thing together here, providing I get it lined up. So it should go. This finger's just not going there. It is. Got to move it over a little bit. Now the fingers are a little close together, not so open, but that's all right. Turning that over, I need a piece of the B runner, and I'm going to just get that with the hand. One gate mark, another gate, and the last tiny one in there is really hard to get. And we'll plug this on. And here you go. Hold on. A little bit tricky. Maybe I need to tuck this in and get a little bit more, put these hands as tight as I can. And I see a little bit of undergate I don't like. All right. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, there we go. Make sure the fingers are tucked in. You'll be able to open them up after. So here's my hand. Looks pretty good, eh? I love these things. I was excited to see them when they came out in the real grades, but they're really hard to use and really flimsy. And the master grades are okay, although the ball connection can cause problems. If you try to take the hand off, it can come apart, but this is like solid. It's not going anywhere with that ball connection coming from being a one monster solid part, so it's awesome. So with that, I take my bottom part here, I plug this on, and I can pop in the hand. In the manual they have it in closed fist, but I'll leave it like so. So that's just it. Now the next part says that I'm supposed to do LEDs when I'm wiring up the arm. Of course I'm not going to do that. I'm going to finish the arm, so let me skip forward a little bit on this next page, and I'm going back to the S runner to get almost the very last piece. The manual does seem to have you build almost everything, and then kind of before you finalize it, put it back together that last time. That's when you're doing your LED work. So people who buy your unicorn without the LEDs and want to go back after and put it in, you'll have to do a little bit of disassembly, though I imagine it won't be terribly difficult. At least I'm hoping it's not. So with this I have my two side pieces. This one goes on the front, and you're supposed to run wires actually down inside here, but of course I'm not doing that. Just plug all that in, click, there you go, seals up nicely, and from there I can actually get this final kind of thing in here. I meant to plug this on now. Oh, I'm seeing something interesting. Oh, there is a part I missed. Hold on. This is bad news. Hold on. Take this off. Take this off if it will come off, please. Good. And take off this final part. There was a part off the S runner I saw tucked in here, and the J runner. So sorry guys, give me a sec here. Let's forget that I did that entire step. Let me take J3. This one I need. It was kind of tucked in there amongst the LED wiring parts. What I'm supposed to do with this piece is actually plug it in to here. So it will sit in like so. And inside here is supposed to be one of the modules for the LED. So right now it's going to sit blank, just kind of plugged in there like this. Right? If I bend the arm, it'll come up. So, okay. With that gone, oh, that's kind of crazy. With that gone, now I can plug this in. I guess I could have done it already. Like so. Good. And now we'll go back and do what I had done before but kind of made a mistake on. So just put it on a little too soon. I probably didn't need to pop off that piece to get that in, but I wanted to make sure I followed the manual step by step properly, right? Okay, so now I have something that looks like this. Now, the module will sit in here, and once it's in there, the manual has you put on these stickers. So I'll bring out the foil sticker again. These things right here, people were wondering what they're for. They're going to go in here and cover up the LED. So there's still red in there, right? Of course, we can't do that right now, so we're gonna have to skip that part. Let me get the last piece off of the E runner. Now, you've served me well, you can retire. And I got some gate marks I need to take care of. Okay. So with this, I'm now going to take this whole assembly now. I see. It kind of jiggles around there without a module, but let's drop it in. Let's slide this on from this side. Nice. The fit is so good. Okay, now I can take this assembly and I can actually place it in here. Now, it's supposed to go in and down, like rather than kind of putting it on and then putting this piece on after, which I could do if I wanted to. It's going to go in and it's going to go down. And I've got to go around that LED type thing. So let me see here. I'm sure it's supposed to be totally flush, but I'm not able to get it flush. Like that's not flush, which makes me think that it's not correct. So pushing it in a little bit more. There we go. That's better. Quite a bit of kind of resistance in there because you have to get it lined up perfectly. And now I pop these on. So we'll plug these in. Plug these in. There's a little bit of a lip on these parts here that seems to kind of be impeding this, so I thought I should get it in there first. No? That looks good. Maybe I'm not plugged in all the way. Don't want to go too hard, of course. I mean, that'll go in like this, but you can see this lip here, right there. That shouldn't be happening. Oh, I see. Kind of gotta push it in. If I push it in, it works, but I was quite surprised at that. So, anyway, sorry guys, you know what you're looking at here. Now, of course, with my shoulder, I can just kind of plug it on and then plug it on to my torso. So, give me a chance to build the other arm, and maybe we'll be able to finalize the torso. Alright, I got two arms. They're looking pretty awesome. Of course, there's that little thing that will hinder the bending of the elbow, but because they've designed the joint this way, you should be able to bend it, bend it forward this way and then bend it, so you actually get this much articulation. So don't worry about being limited in how far you can move. You actually can move the joint and then bend it, just like the knee. So you get a lot of range of motion just in the elbow. So next up, I guess for me, is to kind of assemble the body and then work on the head.